Hello and welcome. This is part of a series of short lessons that break down the AQA A-Level Biology unit called Biological Molecules into shorter videos. If you want the full 50-minute summary, check it out. It's on the channel. Other than that, let's jump into today's topic. We're looking at biological molecules and we're looking at monomers, polymers and carbohydrates. Monomers and polymers. Monomers are small units which join to make large molecules, for example, polymers. Here are some monomers, and these can join to make large molecules called polymers. Here's our polymer. A polymer can be broken down or can break down into our monomers. So, polymers are molecules made of a large number of monomers. Examples of monomers that we need to know. Monosaccharides. These are monomers that make larger carbohydrates. Amino acids, these are monomers that make polypeptides, which then go on to make proteins. And we have nucleotides, these are monomers that make nucleic acids, for example, DNA. 3 monomers that you need to know. Condensation and hydrolysis reactions. Monomers are joined or separated by chemical reactions. Here are 2 monomers that are being joined together. There they are, joined, but we have the removal of a molecule of water, and this type of reaction is called a condensation reaction. So, here's our water molecule, and a condensation reaction joins 2 molecules with the formation of a chemical bond and the loss of a water molecule. Here are 2 monomers that have already been joined. We can also use a water molecule to break them apart. This is a hydrolysis reaction. A hydrolysis reaction, this breaks the chemical bond between 2 molecules with the use of a water molecule. So these are 2 important definitions for this unit. Next, we're going to take a look at carbohydrates in a bit more detail. Larger carbohydrates are made from monomers called monosaccharides. We just mentioned that in the last slide. An important monosaccharide is glucose. Glucose has the formula C6H12O6. Here is a diagrammatical representation of a molecule of glucose. However, for A-level, we need a bit more detail than that. So here is a detailed diagram of the structure of a glucose molecule. You can't see the carbon atoms on this diagram, but we must be aware that they are in these positions here, and we can actually number them. This is carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, 4, 5, and 6. However, although this is a more detailed view of the glucose molecule, we don't need to know it in quite that much level of detail. The specification gives it to us as this. Please note the carbon atoms are still there and they can still be numbered as we did previously. Isomers. These are molecules that have the same formula, but they have a different arrangement of atoms. So if we look at our glucose molecule again, we can see that there's an isomer of the glucose molecule that looks like this. We can see that the OH and H has been flipped on the second isomer of the glucose molecule. The first one is called alpha glucose and the second one is called beta glucose. You should recognize the difference between alpha and beta glucose molecules. So these are isomers of glucose. Next, we need to remember that 2 monosaccharides can join to make a disaccharide. And examples of disaccharides are maltose, sucrose, and lactose. Also, many monosaccharides can join to make polysaccharides. Examples of polysaccharides are starch, glycogen, and cellulose. We'll take a look at those in detail in the next video. Monosaccharides and disaccharides. Disaccharides are formed by joining 2 monosaccharides via a condensation reaction. For example, here we have an alpha glucose molecule, and next to it we have another alpha glucose molecule. We can have a condensation reaction between these 2. Remember, that involves the removal of a molecule of water. So there's our molecule of water removed from the structures there, and we have the formation of a bond. A condensation reaction produces a glycosidic bond with the removal of a molecule of water. So if we just draw that again underneath, here we can see is our glycosidic bond, and we have formed our disaccharide. In other words, a double sugar. This disaccharide is actually called maltose. So let's just put the original diagram back so you have that for your notes. And then we can move on to look at the examples of monosaccharides and disaccharides that we need to know. So monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, and galactose. Disaccharides that we need to know are maltose, sucrose, and lactose. We also need to know the monosaccharides that make up our disaccharides. So maltose is made of 2 glucose molecules, sucrose is glucose and fructose, and lactose is glucose and galactose. Worth noting also that all the glucose molecules are alpha glucose isomers. So that's an introduction to biological molecules, looking at monomers, polymers, and carbohydrates. More videos to come. Do like and subscribe if you think this is useful to you. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.